Here in Daniel 12, we're reminded that we must persevere. We must keep going. We must remain faithful, even when our trouble continues longer than we thought it would. So I think as you unpack this, I think it's actually important to not only see the moments where Daniel was tested, but to actually look at his response. Because when you look at Daniel's response, when you see that trouble rises in his life, what does he do? He dives even deeper and deeper and deeper into who God is. He spends time in solitude. He spends time praying. He spends time fasting. I think of it like when you're making tea. All right, you steep the tea, the better the tea tastes. You just let it sit. And that's what he's doing. He's sitting and he's getting alone with God. When stuff happens in his life, the trouble comes, he dives even deeper into who God is. So what's our response? What's our response when trouble comes? Do you actually run to God and you fall at his feet and you thank him for all the good things that you have? Or are you too focused on what you missed out on? When trouble comes, do we press into who God is? Do we run into our church community, or do we pull ourselves away? Some of us will turn to knowledge and think if we just know more, if I just gain more, if I'm just smarter, then somehow I can figure it all out. I think somebody has to hear that more knowledge was never the answer. More knowledge isn't the answer. And even here in Daniel 12, we have this phrase, this repeated about gaining wisdom, gaining understanding, depending on your translation. Right? I think it's about wisdom, not knowledge. It's never about gaining more knowledge. It's about gaining more wisdom. And if you look in Proverbs chapter 8, we have a little bit about wisdom in Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 8 says, "Blessed the man, blessed the woman who listens to me, awake and ready for me each morning, alert and responsive as I start my day's work. When you find me, you find life. When you find me, you find life, real life." When Jesus arrives in 1 Corinthians, we have this phrase about Jesus. Jesus shows up onto the scene in the Gospels. And here in 1 Corinthians, we have this description of Jesus, and I love it. He's described as the wisdom of God made man. Wisdom is something described as something that we should make our life companion. So how do you make wisdom your life companion? Here's the bottom line. Are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling like you're in the middle of another unmet expectation? Don't seek more knowledge. Don't seek more self-help. Don't seek another guru. Seek Jesus. Steep into his wisdom. Spend time. Get alone. Be silent. You can't rush that process. We must know Jesus and make him our life companion. So that's what we see in the book of Daniel. In the story of Daniel, we see that every time that life brought a new challenge, every time when that life got hard, when he was experiencing and walking through yet another pattern of a failed king or a power-hungry king, or let's be honest, a little bit of a crazy king threatening his life yet again, he presses into the wisdom that only comes from spending time steeping with God.